Good morning or afternoon, everybody. So I'm streaming this to YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. And what I want to talk about briefly this morning is what I'm going to call the SME paradox. So, SME, if you are used to Peter Pan, is a tiny little cartoon that is the sidekick to Captain Hook. If you are in the learning and development community, SME is subject matter expert. So, if you are an expert in your subject, that's you. So, the paradox for the SMEs is this: the more you know about your subject, the harder it is to shape that subject for an audience that is coming with a very particular point of view that is not necessarily open to the best introduction to your material. If you know your material cold, you know they really should start here and then go there and then go there, and it should build. However, a lot of times what people do is come to your content with a very specific thing that they need to have addressed. And it's very hard to disconnect that and have people set it aside and join you on the journey of how it should start. So being able to shape your content and being able to work with your audience to have them be able to either set that aside or incorporate it earlier is something that usually an outside person is required to help with, because again, the more of an expert you are, the harder this is. Now, that type of person is often called an instructional designer or a learning designer. And if you are someone who has a lot of projects where you need content shaped to different goals, business goals, learning goals, ideally, those would be connected, then the kind of person you want to reach out to is Parker and Andrea from ID Lance, because they work with freelance instructional designers and they're solid, they're ethical, they're decent, 100% recommendation. If you want to do that kind of work online, I ask you to reach out to me because that's what I do for a living. Now, one of the things that's really funny about this is I'm an instructional designer, I'm a performer, I teach online presenting. I have the same SME paradox. I have to go to external sources and say, all right, I need to take my content and shape it to how people see it, but getting out of my own way because I know certain things, I've got them in my bones, I've been doing them so long. It's really hard to get out of your way. Now, here's an example of that. I'm not what anybody would call a great cook. So, if you're really good at cooking, you might know that what I need to do is I need to have the right tools. I need to have a really good knife. I need to have things set out the right way. But if you're coming to me and I'm learning how to cook, you might want to say, okay, here's how we set up the space. Here's how we do this. Here's the tools. And I'm actually the person that you need to go, all right, see that salt? Yeah. You want to be careful with that shaker. Just shaking it over the pot is a good way to kill somebody. Uh, so I'm that person, which is not, as a SME for cooking, what you would necessarily expect. You might not think that somebody needs the basics of be careful with the salt. If it accidentally dumps into the pot, you've ruined everything. But people like that exist. So please understand that the knowledge that you have, and you have deep knowledge down in your DNA at what you do for a living. The fact that it is hard to shape that is built into your being an expert. And yes, the quote, if you're truly an expert, you can explain something simply. I get that. I love that quote. However, in reality, that's what external voices are for. Okay. Find a learning designer, find an instructional designer, go and reach out to ID Lance. Again, if you want to do stuff online, please come reach out to me. I'd love to work with you. But I wanted to explain this paradox this morning because I'm suffering from it right now. I'm in the process of writing up content about the openings I have, and I want to explain the work I'm doing to people so I can show them the value. And I'm really having trouble kind of getting out of my own way. So I'm going to be sending it off to other people and having them help me shape it. That's what I encourage you to try. So in the comments, again, I've posted this to a couple of different platforms. So, whichever platform you're on, in the comments, how do you deal with the subject matter expert paradox? Do you do it all yourself? Are you able to make that work? How? If you are, that's great. Tell me what you do because I'd love to incorporate that. If you're leaning on other people, what is it that you're looking for from them? Let's have a conversation about it. So that's this morning's quick and dirty chat. I have promised myself that what I'll do is I'll do a lot of lives. And as I discover new things or as I have things strike me, I'm going to come online and be more present about it. Because one of the loveliest people on Instagram pointed out that I actually don't give tips and tricks that often. I was like, oh, huh, okay, I will start doing that. Oh, hi, Jay. Thank you for the comment. Design critiques. Yes. Okay. Artists, you got to get out of your own way, right? Sometimes you can't see your stuff. You got to look externally. It's the same for any expertise. So please just lean on the others around you. Lean on your expertise, lean on your friends, lean on your peers. Find the people whose judgment you trust and know whose judgment you shouldn't trust. You know, some of the feedback you get, you need to just go, "That's great. Thank you." All right? So that's my thoughts for today. Hi everybody. I'll talk to you later.